Hi there, RC Girl here. Today we have a little bit less formal video. I wanted to show you guys what I'm working on the bench. This is my Toyota XtraCab hard body that I've been weathering. I know it's been a while since my last update when I painted the hard body. I intended to do a weathering step by step for my first time, but I lost like half the videos unfortunately. But today we're gonna finish this off. I have a couple finishing touches to put on the body. Because space is limited inside the chassis now with the hard body and the interior, I'm gonna do an electronic swap. So we're gonna be putting in the BXR. This is a really tiny brushed speed control from Tiken, and it's great for space limited rigs. So today we're gonna install that. One last thing we're gonna do on this is finish off our final step of the weathering process. I'm gonna cut out windshield wipers and we're gonna add a little dust to our windows on this body. Then finally, we're going to take this thing out on the trail and see how it performs. Stay tuned. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Here you're gonna find RC reviews, tips and tricks, run videos, flight videos, and other things related to RC. So if you guys wanna see more, make sure you like and subscribe. Also head over to my Instagram, Patreon, and Facebook. I'll put links to those down here. I do a lot of behind the scenes stuff, so make sure you don't miss it. It is a freaking beautiful day here in Santa Cruz. It's like 74 degrees and it's January, which is crazy. Wearing my Proline tank for the first time. I've been waiting to wear this thing. I actually just injured myself on my mountain bike. It looks a lot worse than it is. Thanks for everyone's concern. I slid out on a turn that I've done like 1,000 times, so super stupid. Luckily, no further injuries than just some trail rash. But we got some bench work to do today, which is gonna be pretty mellow, so let's zoom on in. First off, if you're new to the Toyota XtraCab build I've been doing, this is RC4WD Drive's Toyota XtraCab hard body, and I've mounted it on my SCX-10-3 chassis. I have a video on painting it up here. I'll put a link to that up here. It's a pretty neat hard body with lots of cool scale details like this magnet hood here with our little hood stand. We don't currently have a light kit in it, but it is ready for one, so I might do that next. For the weathering, I did a couple different steps and we're going to finish one of the steps today, but the first one was to get these panel lines. I thinned out an oil-based paint and we filled in any of these cracks here with that oil-based paint. Also did a little dry brushing to add some shading. I also tried my first rust using some pigments. I think I can get the rust down a little bit better. I looked at an actual XtraCab and saw how it weathered and tried to mimic that a little bit. So I think for my first weathering experience, turned out pretty good. I really enjoyed the process of weathering. It is tedious for sure and it is frustrating, but I think it can add a lot of character to your rig. We still have to do a little finishing. For example, I never glued the door panels on because I thought at some point that I would come in and add all these crazy details. I'm not a big fan of painting interiors. They are super tedious. So I thought it would be easier if this was off to paint it, but I think we're going to just finish this off, glue it back to the door because there's a magnet in the panel here and it holds the door shut. Also, based on a suggestion from one of you on YouTube, I actually got my first scale driver. So meet Jen. She looks like a freaking badass. She even has a gun, which is great because her hands are in the position of holding a gun. So that makes it easy so she can grab the steering wheel. I think she might be a little bit small. I think she's like a 5-inch action figure. She looks sort of out of scale, but when she's in the driver's seat, I think she's a pretty good size and you can't really tell how off the scale is when she's seated. She even has 18 points of articulation, which is cool. So she can actually be seated, her feet turn. I've seen in other videos that people actually cut off the legs and just attach the body into the seat, but she actually fits in there quite nicely. So I think we're gonna not dismember her. Anyhow, I'll put a link to her in the description box below. I also got a super cool die-cast mountain bike to put in our bed. I'm hoping also to sew a little tailgate pad. Well, enough about that, let's get to it. So let's map out where I'm gonna put the electronics in this. Because we do have an interior with the XtraCab hard body, you have to place your electronics basically perfectly to fit everything. The BXR, this actually came out of my SCX-10-3. It was overheating. I think it was just working too hard for that rig. This is definitely a lighter chassis. I think it's gonna be perfect in this. This is a 16-turn, 5-slot brushed motor from Tiken. We're gonna solder that on today. First, we're going to set the gear mesh on the motor so that it's installed properly, and then we're going to cut our ESC cables to size. Then we're going to solder them. All right, so now that we have our electronics installed, we're gonna do our final weathering step. This technique is actually from a video from Scale Builders Guild. He cuts out on masking tape his windshield wiper blades to give the effect on your windshield that your wipers have gone through dust. This is a simple, easy step that anyone can do. All you need is Tamiya TS Flat Clear. So this is a clear coat, and I think it turned out really, really cool. Next, we're gonna add some decals to the back window. This is one of my favorite steps. It means that you're getting near to the end. I have a lot of different decals, some from Scale Builders Guild, some from Blood Brothers Graphics, and some I got with rigs. A lot of the RC4 wheel drive ones are super cool too. Of course, you have to finish it off with an RC Girl decal. Really happy with how this turned out. Any scale rig, of course, is going to need a scale license plate. So Blood Brothers Graphics printed me a couple. And for a license plate cover, I actually used the end cap of a micro servo. I shaved it down just to the end, and it was a perfect fit. All right, so that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Super fun trail run, actually. I was surprised at how it performs. This is a long wheelbase rig, also a heavy hard body, which tends to be a little bit top heavy. I think I only top bowled like 1 or 2 times. Adding some realistic scratches to the body. I think the BXR handled a lot better in this rig versus in my SCX 10.3. I was trying to power too much. This is a lot better setup for the BXR. Really fun trying weathering for the first time. This is probably one of my most scale rigs to date. I really want to get better at some of the weathering techniques, so looking forward to growing in the hobby. Let me know what you guys think about how this turned out. Any other scale goodies I should add to it, shoot me a comment below. As always, make sure to like and subscribe. See you later.